Welcome back, children. So coming to today's class, we'll be beginning a new chapter which is called as alternating currents. See, in the previous chapter in electromagnetic induction, okay, we have studied about an AC generator, an alternating current generator. Okay, there we have seen that when the armature, that means when a rectangular coil is made to move in a perpendicular or between the poles of a magnet, then it was generating a current which is sinusoidally varying with time. And such a current we have called it as alternating current. So in this particular chapter we will be studying more about alternating currents. Okay, so in detail about alternating currents. So let us start with the definition of an alternating current. Okay, so let's see how to define it. It is defined as, generally we type it as A dot C, current which is periodically reversing its direction. Okay, we call it as an alternating current. Okay, so to understand the definition, look at some of the waveforms which represent an alternating current. Okay, in general, we take it as a sinusoidal wave. Okay, if you observe current versus time graph, okay, this is how we represent it for one time period. If you want to extend for many, you can continue. Another cycle and so on. Okay, look at this. What is its amplitude? I am taking the amplitude as I0, and if you observe, it's continuously changing its values, and after every t by 2 seconds, a positive value is changing to negative. Again after t by 2 seconds, positive to negative. So such a current which is periodically reversing its direction, but amplitude is not going to change. So it is going to have the same amplitude. Here the amplitude is I0, again I0, between I and minus I0. Here amplitude is I0, I0 and so on. Then such a current, what do you call it as? An alternating current. So other forms of alternating currents I will show you. It is not necessary that always it should be a sinusoidal wave. It can be a cosine wave. Starts from a peak or highest value. This is one cycle, 0 to t. One more I will represent. 2t. So this also, at regular intervals of time, it is reversing its direction. So positive, negative, positive and negative. At regular intervals of time, it is changing its direction. But again, amplitude is plus I0 to, okay, this is plus I0, I on y-axis, time on x-axis. So this also represents an alternating current. So you can sometimes represent an alternating current by a rectangular or a triangular way. Okay, it is not all the time necessary that it should be a sine or a cosine function. Sometimes you can also represent the alternating current this way. A square wave. Zero, t and 2t. Okay, it's having a constant value from 0 to t by 2 seconds, but positive. After t by 2 seconds, it's reversing its value from positive to a negative. Again positive and a negative. So we call this as a square wave. Then next, triangular. This also represents alternating current. Plus and minus, amplitude is I0. Okay, plus I0 and minus I0. So it can be a sawtooth wave. When do you call it a sawtooth? It is increasing, a straight line, again a straight line, and it continues. 0, t, 2t and 3t. Check, is it again periodically reversing its direction? amplitude I have taken it as I naught. Okay, all the current versus time graphs I have represented. So such a current whose direction is reversing periodically. After every regular intervals of time, it is changing its sign. Then such a current, what are we calling it as? An alternating current. And exactly similar, you can define alternating EMF. Okay, if they ask you define an alternating EMF, instead of current, you use the word EMF. EMF, which is periodically reversing its direction. So if current is varying with time, EMF is also varying with time. Exactly the similar graphs. Instead of I, you can write it as E. So this is how we define an alternating current or an alternating E. Now look at these two graphs. Okay, where current is varying with time, here also current is varying with time. Can I call them as alternating currents? Okay, think of it. Look at the first wave. How is the amplitude of this wave? Okay, amplitude is not constant. Here this is the amplitude. After one wave, amplitude has decreased. So this is a decreasing amplitude wave. So can we call it as an alternating current? Answer is no. You cannot call it as alternating current because amplitude is decreasing with time. And we call this as damped oscillatory function, but not alternating current. So if amplitude is going to change with time, you cannot call it as alternating current. Come to this example. So here amplitude is constant. This is your time graph. But see, this is positive, again positive, positive and positive. The values are increasing, decreasing, increasing and decreasing, but it is not reversing its direction. Throughout the motion, it is having only positive values. So this also cannot be called as an AC. Okay, it does not represent an alternating current. Okay, remember these two. The previous graphs, what I showed you, represent alternating currents, but these two graphs do not represent an alternating current. How do we represent a direct current? So we have studied direct currents or steady state currents in current electricity. Okay, so look at the representation of a direct current. Okay, if I plot current versus time graph, if it is maintaining a constant value which is not varying with time, such a current we call it as steady DC, steady current, or a steady direct current. Sometimes they will ask you, what should we call this type of current? What name will you give this? Is it AC or a DC? Look at the values. It is having an amplitude constant, but it is not reversing its direction at regular intervals of time. So we cannot call it as an AC. Since it's continuously maintaining a positive value, we call it as a pulsating DC. Okay, this is a steady DC, whereas this one is called a pulsating DC. It cannot be called as an alternating current. So these, okay, now coming to equations representing an alternating current. So how do we mathematically represent an alternating current? Okay, for that we'll be using a periodic function. Okay, already we have studied in simple harmonic motion. Okay, so an alternating current can be represented as I naught sine omega t, plus or minus phi depending on the question. If there is a phase difference, you can add phi, otherwise I naught sine omega t. You can also represent it by a cosine function. Amplitude is I naught cos omega t plus or minus phi. Sum of sine and cosine functions. See, if I write I is equal to A sine omega t plus B cos omega t, even this represents an alternating current because we can reduce it to under root A square plus B square sine omega t plus phi. Okay, where amplitude, what is the amplitude of this wave? It is root over A square plus B square. And how to get the value of tan phi? Okay, phi is equal to tan inverse of B by A. Okay, now just now we have seen that equation representing an alternating current I is equal to I naught sine omega t plus phi. Okay, if I take alternating current as I naught sine omega t, okay, how is current varying with time? I versus t graph would be a sinusoidal function. Okay, this is for one time period. So if you observe the magnitude of the current, it is continuously changing. See, first the values are increasing, then decreasing, again increasing in opposite direction and decreasing. Since the magnitude of this current is continuously changing with time, we generally talk about average value or mean value of current. And one more term which we often use is R.M.S. value of an alternating current or an alternating EMF. Now let us look into how do we evaluate this average or mean value of an alternating current and its significance. Similarly, we will also study about its R.M.S. value of an alternating current. So to begin with, let us define or understand what is the meaning of this average or a mean value. So the average or mean value of an alternating current is going to tell you the amount of charge that is going to transfer in a given interval of time. So we know current is due to the flow of charges. In case of a direct current, electrons are drifted. Okay, we know how do we define the relation between current and drift velocity. I is equal to NEA into V. So whenever we observe the drift of electrons, this is going to lead to an electric current. But coming to an alternating current, the electrons are oscillating with time. So once they drift towards left to produce a current in one direction, stop, reverse the direction. So indirectly speaking, electrons are set to oscillate. And because of this oscillations, magnitude of current is continuously changing with time. Then for such a current, we are going to find out the average value. So what does the average value give you? It tells you about the amount of charge that is being transferred in a given interval of time. Okay, now they will specify the time. In that time, we are interested in finding out what is the amount of charge transferred. So let us see how to evaluate the R.M.S. or the mean value of an alternating current, which is represented by I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Okay, so let us come back to the relation. Let us represent I as I naught sine omega t. We are going to evaluate the average value of alternating current. So we know current average value is going to give me the average charge transferred in a given interval of time. Now instead of writing this Q, okay, I will modify it into integral form. See, we know I is equal to dq by dt. So Q can be written as integral of I into dt, whatever time they are going to specify. Okay, if it is from 0 to t, I will put the limits as 0 to t, divided by the time interval. Okay, I will write this as integral of dt from 0 to t. If the time limits are specified from t1 to t2, you put the limits. Otherwise, if it is starting from 0, that is from 0 to t. So what is your general formula for calculating the I average value of current? Okay, you can remember this relation. Integral 0 to t I into dt by integral 0 to t into dt. So now I will tell you how do we evaluate this average value of current for a complete cycle, okay, for one time period, if your equation is I is equal to I naught sine omega t. So let us start with for a time interval of one complete cycle. For one complete cycle, that is from 0 to capital T, let us evaluate the average value of current. Okay, so for that, let us start with this integration. Okay, put the value of I average is equal to integral for 0 to capital T. In the place of I will write it as I naught sine omega t into dt by integral of dt will be capital T, because we are evaluating it for one complete time or one complete cycle. or I average equals to, take out this I naught outside, by t, integral of sine omega t is minus cos omega t by omega from 0 to t. Put the limits. I average is equal to I naught by t omega. Put upper limit minus cos omega t plus cos 0, or I average equals to I naught by omega t, cos 0 is 1 minus cos omega. Okay, in the place of omega I will write it as 2 pi by capital T into t. T and t gets cancelled. Cos 2 pi, cos 360 degrees is again 1. 1 minus 1. What will your average value become? A 0. So what is the average value of an alternating current for one complete cycle? Since your wave is symmetric, okay, if you observe this wave, you can easily understand. If this is your cycle, for one complete cycle, what is the average value of current? If I add all the positive and the negative values, sum of plus and minus would become equal to a 0. So remember this, for an alternating current, for a symmetric equation, okay, if this is a symmetric cycle, then the average value for one complete cycle will always be a 0. So that's why generally they ask you to calculate the average value for half cycle. So instead of one complete cycle, for one complete cycle, anyway you can prove that it is equal to a 0. So let us see what would your answer be for half cycle. What do you mean by half cycle? Instead of one complete cycle, if I take only half cycle, then I have to evaluate the integral from 0 to t by 2. So put the limits from 0 to t by 2. Only the limits are going to change. General formula will remain as it is. So 0 to t by 2, t by 2. This will become I naught by t by 2. I am making it 2 by 2. Okay, here also you get by 2. This will be 2. I did nothing. I have put the limits from 0 to t by 2. So t by 2, when it goes to numerator, I have written it as 2 by t. So 2 I naught by omega into t. Only the last step is going to change. This 2 will not be present. Okay, omega is 2 pi by t into t by 2. 2 gets cancelled. What is the value of cos pi? Cos 180 is minus 1. So you will get 2 I naught by omega t into 1 minus of minus 1 will be 2. When you put omega as 2 pi by t, 4 I naught by 2 pi by t into t. T will anyway get cancelled. What is the average value coming out to be? 2 I naught divided by pi. So the average value of current for half cycle will be 2 I naught divided by pi. So this is how you can find out the average value of an alternating current, okay, by using this general relation. There is one more method to find out the average value, but remember that is applicable only for one complete cycle. It's not for half cycles. When you have a complete cycle and it is a symmetric wave like sine or cosine function, I will tell you one more alternative method. Again I repeat, that second method is applicable only when your time period is one complete cycle. Okay, let us see how to find out. Okay, now look at the alternative method to find out the average value. Okay, so to determine the average value, we use this method, but remember it's applicable for one complete cycle. Okay, say you have an equation I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Then average value is represented by this symbol, is average of I naught sine omega t. We know I naught is a constant, remove the constant outside. We need the average value of sine omega t for one complete cycle. Okay, we know if it is sine function, this is how sine varies with time. So for one complete cycle, what is the sum of all the values if I consider average value? Sum of all these values, sum of positive and negative values will obviously become a 0. So what is the average value equal to? I naught into 0. Okay, average of sine omega t or cos omega t will always be 0. So if this becomes 0, 0 into I naught. So what is the average value of current for one complete cycle? If it is a sinusoidal wave, it has become equal to 0. Remember, for any symmetric function, average value for one complete cycle will be 0. So if I ask you what is the average value for a triangular wave like this? This is also a symmetric function. It has equal number of positive and negative values. Average becomes 0. If it is a square wave, then also average value is 0. Sawtooth, for one complete cycle from 0 to t, positive and negative. So for all symmetric functions, average value will become equal to 0. So this is an alternative method to calculate the average value. Okay, now coming to the root mean square value, it is also called as virtual or effective value of alternating current. So look at the definition of this RMS or root mean square value. It is defined as, it is that value of direct current which is going to deliver the same power, or which is going to dissipate the same power through a resistor as that of AC. Okay, I repeat the statement. How do we define this RMS value? It is that value of direct current which can produce the same power or deliver the same power through a resistor as that of AC. So indirectly, it is going to tell you what value of DC I have to replace so that the power delivered by a resistor remains the same. Okay, say for example, you have an alternating EMF connected to a resistor and it has an RMS value of 10 ampere. Then if you want to replace this alternating source with a DC, what should be the current? Current should also be equal to 10 ampere. Okay, now look at this. What is the power dissipated in this case? I square into R for DC. What is the power dissipated for an AC? It should be I RMS square into capital R. Now if these two powers have to be equal, then current has to be replaced with which value? The root mean square value. So again repeat the definition. It is that value of direct current which produces the same power or which delivers the same power through a resistor as that of AC. So now let us see how to evaluate this root mean square value. We know we have started with a sinusoidal current. So I'll start with the same equation. I is equal to I naught sine omega t. So this is your alternating current and I want to evaluate its RMS value. So to evaluate its RMS value, look at the procedure. RMS value, go in reverse order. Take the value. Okay, we took it as I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Step 2, square it. Okay, I'm squaring it on either sides. Take the mean. Okay, how to take the mean? Average of I square is equal to, remember how to calculate the mean by integration method? Integral, okay, for one complete cycle. I square into dt by integral of dt. See, just now I told you how to find out average value. Okay, average value of current is integral of I dt. But here I am taking the mean of square of current. So we have squared the current. Now I am calculating the square or average of I square. So in the place of I square, I will write this relation. Since we are evaluating average of I square, integral of dt will anyway be t. So 1 by t I am writing outside. Okay, 1 by capital T. It is taken from 0 to t. I square. Okay, put this value. I naught square sine square omega t into dt from 0 to capital T, or I square mean is equal to, bring the constant outside, I naught square by capital T. Okay, since we cannot directly integrate sine square omega t, I write it as 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. Okay, integral of 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2 into dt from 0 to capital T. Now integrate this relation, integral of 1 by 2, okay, first term, or bring this 2 outside. I naught square by capital T, 2 I will write outside, and finding square of the mean of I square, integral of 1 into dt is t. Okay, there are two terms here, integral of 1 into dt is t minus integral of cos 2 omega t is sine 2 omega t by 2 omega. What are the limits? 0 to capital T. Once again I repeat, 2 we took outside, integral of 1 into dt is t, integral of cos 2 omega t into dt is sine 2 omega t divided by 2 omega. Now put the limits in the place of small t, capital T. Upper limit minus lower limit. Okay, upper limit is capital T, lower limit is 0, anywhere this will become capital T. Minus. Now upper limit, 1 by 2 omega I will write outside. In the place of small t I am writing capital T. Sine 2 omega capital T minus sine, in the place of t 0, sine 0. Anyway sine 0 is 0. Put omega as 2 pi by capital T. Okay, here I write I square average is I naught square by 2t t. Okay, I'll put the value of omega as 2 pi by t into capital T. Sine 0 will anyway become equal to a 0. See, t and t gets cancelled. Sine 4 pi. Okay, we know the value of sine 4 pi is anyway equal to 0. So even this term will become a 0. So what is the average of I square value? I naught square divided by 2t into t. Cancel of this t and t also. See, we took the value. Okay, we have gone in reverse order. Squared it, got the mean. Now at last apply the square root. So when we apply the square root on either sides, the root of mean of I square, you will get I naught by root 2. This itself we are calling it as the root mean square value. So what is R.M.S value equal to? I naught divided by root 2. This is how you can determine the root mean square value of an alternating current, which is represented by the equation I is equal to I naught sine omega t. So this is one method to find out the root mean square value. Okay, let's look into one more method, that is by an average method. Now look at one more method to find out the root mean square value. Okay, I am writing the statement. Root mean square value, we have to go in opposite order. Take the value. Okay, we took a sinusoidal current. Step 1, square on both sides. Step 3, find the mean. Okay, now I'll use this method for finding the mean. Mean of I square. I naught square is a constant. I need the average of sine square omega t. Okay, we know sine square omega t can be written as 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. Okay, we need to find the average of this. Okay, so to look at how to find the average, I naught square, I'll keep it as it is. This is I square average. Average of 1 by 2. Okay, average of a constant is a constant. Minus average of cos 2 omega t. Okay, just now I told you, average of any sinusoidal or a cosine function for one complete cycle is 0. So look at cos 2 omega t graph. This is how it will be. Okay, in one time period it has a frequency of 2 omega. What is the average of all these values? For every positive value you have a negative value. Average of any cosine function for one complete time period or average of cos 2 omega t is 0. So if you put this average of cos 2 omega t as 0, what will be I square average value? The mean value of I square, this will be 0. Average of I square mean, we have got I naught square divided by 2. See, we took the value, we have squared it, applied the mean, at last we have to apply the root. Apply the square root on either sides. What is I R.M.S equal to? I naught divided by root 2. Okay, so this is how you can determine the root mean square value of current. So today we have studied what is an alternating current, what is the mathematical equation for representing it, then how to find average value of alternating current, and then R.M.S value. And the same formulas you can also apply for alternating EMF. Okay, if they ask you what is the average value of EMF for one complete cycle, what will be the average for one complete cycle? 0. Then E average for half cycle, okay, for T by 2, 0 to T by 2, it will be 2 E naught divided by pi. And how to get the R.M.S value of this EMF? R.M.S value of EMF will be peak value divided by root 2, E naught divided by root 2. Okay, generally in India we will be using 220 volts and 50 hertz. Okay, the AC what we use is about 220 volts and 50 hertz. What is this 220? Okay, whenever you get this 220, remember this is the R.M.S value. And 50 hertz is the frequency what we are going to use. Again I repeat, 220 volts which we generally use in our household is not the peak value, it is the R.M.S value. If R.M.S value is 220, then predict what will be the peak value. We know E.R.M.S is E naught by root 2. So the peak value will be root 2 times of 220, which is around 311 ohms. So 311 is the peak value of the EMF what we are using, and R.M.S value is 220. So this is all the introductory part of alternating currents.